Welcome back to Sailing Sunday. This week we're continuing our U.S. adventure after our first stop in St. Augustine, Florida, the oldest city in America. We're now currently up the St. Johns River here in Jacksonville, where we're currently tucked in behind a little deserted island. A perfect place to leave Ryan and Jackson while I fly out to finalize my long-awaited Australian citizenship. The only thing that could ruin our plan is a hurricane heading straight for Jacksonville. But what are the chances of that happening?
Jacksonville is also under a local state of emergency.
This is a 100-mile-per-hour hurricane.
You could see some rapid intensification about a major hurricane.
You have got to be kidding me. Before we get into it though, let's rewind back a week to Ryan and I pulling into a marina so I can catch my flight to Australia, blissfully unaware that in a few days a hurricane's gonna form in the Gulf of Mexico and decide to make a beeline straight for Ryan.
All right guys, it wasn't pretty, but we made it. We got in. Hey Britney.
That was probably the worst we've ever done.
We had 2.5 knots of current pushing us into the slip, and we had the wind pushing us in too. So it was a little tricky.
In our defense, that was tricky. You basically got the back end wedged just in between two poles, and then we pulled ourselves in the rest of the way.
I know. But anyway, this is typical sailor. I was going to show you this. This is how Britney's flying to Australia with this bag. I thought you were going to take the green bag. Are you going to put all your stuff in that?
Are you kidding me?
Well, I thought that's what it was. And then we're just going to, look, this tiny little GoPro bag.
This is me for the next month. How times have changed. I used to bring 2 big bags, a carry-on bag, plus I used to use a purse that was big enough to be considered a carry-on bag, but it was a purse. Now I'm literally fitting everything in this tiny little backpack, and it actually feels good.
Britney's literally flies out in 2 hours. We've already checked in. She doesn't have bags to check in, so we can just go to the airport, go through customs, and Bob's your uncle. Anyway, we've got 2 hours to get there. We're about 20 minutes away. Let's go.
There's only been a handful of times that Ryan and I have actually been away from each other in the 4 and a bit years since we moved aboard Sunday. You would think it would be a welcome relief, but the truth is we always get really sad when we say goodbye. We started my application for my citizenship years before deciding to travel on the boat, and we've been waiting a long time to get the call that it's ready to go. Now, it's been over 4 years since I set foot on Australian soil, since the pandemic made it nearly impossible to travel back up until this point. And I'd been living in Australia for over 10 years before that. So I was so excited to finally reunite with our family and friends and become an Australian citizen once and for all. Although it wasn't quite the warm welcome I was hoping for. Australia seemed pretty confused by my lack of luggage and couldn't quite wrap their head around the fact that I flew halfway across the world with just a little backpack. I was eventually let through, but I still had one more flight to catch, so first thing on my list while I waited was a good old Aussie cappuccino. And this is about the time back in Florida, everything started to get a bit hairy.
Alright, so basically guys, there was a tropical storm forming in the Pacific Ocean. It was crossing over, going through the Gulf of Mexico. Been watching it for about a week now, and you alright buddy? It's getting hot in here. So basically we've been watching for a week now. It was going to turn into a hurricane, but we weren't sure where it was going to go. I thought it might cross over a bit lower, so I was trying to head up. Now I stopped heading up. I stopped in Jacksonville because I was a little bit nervous. I was like, okay, am I going to make it further north? Is this hurricane going north, or do I have to turn back around and go south again? So anyway, I sat put, I waited for a couple of days, and now it's heading straight for Jacksonville. And yeah, that kind of sucks because I didn't think it was going to head straight for me. I thought it was either going to go higher or lower, or I don't know. I don't know why I stopped here. I thought I'd be safe here. It turns out I'm not. Today I was going to go south. I was going to go down to Cape Canaveral and get down there. But turns out Cape Canaveral turned me down. Every marina there said no. And pretty much I think it's probably just more so for insurance purposes, but they just said we're evacuating. The boat's an absolute pigsty. I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I've called up a few marinas here about trying to get somewhere in a marina because I'm alone, so I need like a plan B if shit hits the fan. And being alone on anchor is probably not the safest thing. Going to marina is not really my first choice, but it makes a lot of sense. Now the one marine has asked us to leave, so I'm gonna go down and get some fuel just to be completely 100% topped up, and wait till 2 p.m. for the next forecast with NOAA, and then make my choice if I'm gonna go down south.
'Cause every single curve you drive me around must be a gift from above.
We got Ovi here, my neighbor here at the marina, so he's gonna take me down to get some fuel. Thanks mate, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. They call us the Hood Fabios.
The Hood Fabios. So apparently we're in the hood here. Anyway, thanks, mate.
Baby, we got that sunlight. Baby, we got that moonshine. Baby, we got that sunlight. Baby, we got that moonshine.
Damn, dude, you do it the barbarian way.
Yeah.
Honey, all I need is you to cover me in all of your love.
Alright, so we got the fuel. Ovi's taking me down there. What a champ. And what's next, buddy? Jackson, hey mate, how you going? Okay, so we've got to, you right, buddy? You right, mate? I gotta sort this boat out now. Rick and Lou on Salacious Star, they're south of me. They're in Fort Pierce, and I can't get there. It's too late to get there. But they've got an idea that they've sent me. They rang up Cape Canaveral for me, and they said that's deemed as an evacuation zone. So that's scary because they're so far away. They're like another, 100 nautical miles south of this hurricane, and they're evacuating. So I don't know if they're just saying that because they don't want me there, or maybe because there is like a storm coming through, they don't want to have people on their boats, and maybe they're evacuating people off their boats. So if I go there, I have to leave the boat alone, which I don't want to do. Anyway, Rick and Lou, Salacious Star, they've just told me of a marina north, which is probably a bit more in the firing line of this hurricane, but it's deemed hurricane proof. It's like a big hurricane hole. So I'm gonna go check that out and just see what that's about, and I'll get back to you guys in probably 2 seconds. Today I was gonna go south. I was gonna go down to Cape Canaveral and get down there, but turns out Cape Canaveral turned me down. A lot of them, every marina there said no. Pretty much I think it's probably just more so for insurance purposes, but they just said we're evacuating. And I'm thinking, shit, if they're evacuating down in Cape Canaveral, then I'm screwed up here. So then I thought about going up north to another spot in Georgia, and that was going to be a bit more of a hurricane hole. And they actually sell it as a hurricane hole, but turns out now all the predicted weather forecasts, which are about 36 hours away now, are all predicting that it's going to go north even higher than what we are. So it's not going over Jacksonville anymore, it's going up north. So I'm probably better off staying in Jacksonville at the moment.
Now, as you can imagine, at this point, I'm feeling pretty helpless all the way over in Australia. And with the time change, I was up all hours of the night with Ryan throughout the week discussing options and exit plans. As the hurricane began to set its course, despite the fact it was beginning to move further away from Jacksonville, we still felt it was best to put as much distance as possible between them.
Alright guys, so it's 8 PM. There's been a new forecast weather model prediction out, so I'm going to upload that and check it out and see what's going on. I'm still here in the marina. I've just been taking down stuff and getting the boat ready. So getting ready to leave. How are you? Good. How are you? How's Australia? What's up? You're not happy because you got a cold. I'm not happy because I'm about to hit a hurricane, but that's alright. Yeah, it's still pitch black. I'm gonna head out. Yeah. The lights have gone further up again. Have they? Oh, that's good news. Northwest. Have you looked at it again? Yeah. So I've got I just checked NOAA website and updated it at 3 AM an hour ago. That was Britney in Australia just calling me to see if I'm alright. But yeah, there's some thunderstorms offshore, so it's a bit stressful. I've got the hurricane like way offshore, so I'm not sure what the swell's going to be like out there. They say it's going to be calm, 1.5 meters, but I might be thankful later, because if this hurricane does turn south at all any further, I'm in direct firing line here, so St. Augustine. Although it doesn't look like there's a lot of good places to anchor down there, I just feel like getting further away from the eye is probably the best option right now. Well, we got one good thing. We got a beautiful sunrise out here. Check it out. Hey. that a good sunrise? Is that a good sunrise? We'll be alright, buddy. Beneteau Oceanus 46. I think 6.4 feet deep as well. Is that okay to get in? Alright guys, so this is amazing. I just realized there's a marina called Comanche Marina. They let me leave my dinghy there when I went and checked into St. Augustine. They don't usually let people leave their dinghies there. They seem like a bit more of a real upmarket marina. Now I've called them up. It's costing about $500 US for me to pull in for 2 nights. But for peace of mind with this storm, super happy to go in there. Now I'm a little nervous because our mast is 65 feet high. I gotta go under a bridge that's 65 feet high. So I'm gonna be in there in about an hour and a half. In about 2.5 hours, we've got low tide. So dead low tide, I'm gonna go under that bridge, and fingers crossed, it's all good. So I'm gonna do my research now, just double check that I can get under there. So go under the bridge at low tide. Now the entrance of this marina is really, really shallow. So I can't go in there at low tide. So I'm gonna have to drop anchor somewhere out the front. I'm gonna have to wait it out for a few hours. The problem with that is that this afternoon we got about 20 knots blowing, so just, it is what it is. I'm gonna have to try and back into this marina in 20 knots by myself and tie up because I can't come in at low tide. So I'm gonna have to wait till high tide. Fortunately, the storm's gonna be here then. Yeah, I'll be fine. I mean, I got no problems backing it in 20 knots by myself. A bit nervous, but I got bow thrusters to help me. I'm just, I guess, a bit nervous because I'm by myself. I guess the first thing I'm gonna do is get under this bridge, and I've got 58 minutes to stress about it. Look at that, eh? Far out. You alright, buddy? You did well, Jackson. Jackson did really well there. He just kind of laid there. He looked at me like, we alright? And I was like, yeah, mate, we're all good. I was filming forward for you guys could see, but I don't think you can actually see the power of these waves coming in. So I wanted to try and turn the camera to face me like I did, but I could only do it at the end once it all settled down because I wasn't able to really get it earlier. But it was crazy because I have to try and steer with the waves a little bit so I don't get rocked and you know, pitchfork around. But as I'm doing it, I'm heading out of the channel, so I got to keep trying to cut left as much as I can, and when the bigger waves come, I got to turn down with them a bit. It's kind of shitty because we got, you know, a big long swell out there and it's coming to shore here, so it's hectic. And then we got the tide that's coming out, so they kind of peaked a bit of a wash machine, but we're all good. Hey mate. Yeah, wasn't fun coming in here this time. A lot more easier last week. So geez, I'd hate to think what this looks like in the middle of a hurricane tomorrow. I guess obstacle 2 is now get under this 65-foot high bridge. Loving life right now. Couldn't be happier. Coming in here, I'm going 2,000 revs. Now at 2,000 RPM, I should be going about 7.5 knots. Now the current is that strong with the tide coming out right now that we're going 3.5 knots coming in here. It's insane. I'm getting pushed around everywhere. So, and to top it off too, because it's such a low tide right now, it's got a full moon. We're bloody, you know, back there we got down to about 3.5 meters deep, and our keel's 2 meters going up and down that swell. This isn't fun. I tell you, it's not fun. Hey mate, you alright, buddy? Alright, I can see it now. It says 67 feet, so should be alright. That was close. Oh man, I don't think I'll make that at high tide. Oh, that was close, hey? That was close. Sorry I couldn't get like the tip of it just going past under, but the guys were laughing at me on that fishing boat there. They were just like, I wouldn't be trying that any higher, and I'm like, nah. Shit. So the marina is literally just over there. Unfortunately, now I'm gonna have to wait till high tide. I gotta wait till about 3 o'clock. I think absolute earliest I can get in there, and the storm's coming at 2, somewhere around 2, 3. So, all right, guys, the time's come. It's a little breezy, but it's not too bad. I'm gonna guess it's probably about 12, 15 knots. It's time to go into the marina. All right, we're in. I'm gonna go check in, get my paperwork, and I'll be back. Whew. All right, if you like the videos, please subscribe. Fell off the couch. Like and subscribe.